Good morning and welcome to Backyard Cigars. Doing my yearly checkups on the humidors, and as you can see here, all of the special cigars that go in the special humidor have been taken out. The humidor is inspected, and of course, beforehand, the main reason for this is you just want to make sure that all the cigars are in good shape. Nothing's nothing fishy is going on, and obviously the humidity, which wasn't an issue. The humidity was reading 66, I believe, and it with a variation to 67 occasionally. And the important thing was also to check the Bovita packs and make sure that they're in good shape. Two or three did need to be replaced. They will be replaced. One cigar had a little uh, tear on the on the foot, and as you can see, it was repaired with some glue. That would have been missed if I hadn't done this little check. How did it happen? Perhaps in handling, perhaps the foot got a little too dry uh, before I replaced the Bovita packs to up the humidity for a dry winter, which is what I am beginning to experience. And also just to go through the inventory, make sure that anything that needs to be smoked soon should be smoked soon and be placed in an appropriate location so that I can easily grab it and not have to move everything around again. So as I show some of these cigars, I'm going to be placing them into the humidor. And first, we'll look at the larger cigars here, the Davidoff Royal Salamon. And these are for a very, very special occasion because some of you might know how expensive these can be. And that special occasion is earmarked. So, fortunately, I won't have to wait too long for that. So I'll get to putting those away. Close the humidor right away. Uh, Another one that you might see here is, and as you can see, these are the Opus X's. These are the Cubans. These are just some large Vitola cigars. Those are the Padrones. I've been smoking those, and that's an aged Cuban. There's some Ashtons with a Davidoff. I'll explain a few of these as I go along, but this is an Opus X. I believe it's a Perfección. So here you have a Plasencia Alma Fuerte, and this is newly acquired, but smoked it and reviewed it in the past. Excellent smoke. Here we have God of Fire, and this is Aniversario 2016. Time to smoke that soon. This is a La Flor Dominicana Salamon, and these are the rare limited ones that they release with some artwork on them, and they come in different forms. Some have a little bit of candela on the wrapper. These are also Lido Gomez, La Flor Dominicana, and this is the small batch Lido Gomez. Here we have a Cuban Romeo y Julieta Churchill. This was supposedly Winston Churchill's favorite cigar. So as you can see there, beautiful cigar. And hopefully I won't have to wait too long for this. Now we're going to look at some exclusives that came in early this year. This is La Flor Dominicana Andalusian Bull, and this is a Jack Schwartz exclusive 100th anniversary. And then here we have an Atabey, which is, I believe, another anniversary, a Corona cigar. No pun intended there, but it's not that type of Corona. Corona Cigars anniversary, Atabey, and a very beautiful band, of course, from Nelson Alfonso and the Andalusian Bull in a different format. And when I review this, I'll explain that. It's sort of the same cigar, but it's a different vitola size, as you can see, shaped differently and slightly different. Hope to experience that. So if we look at the different Opus Fuente, Opus X here, some of them, as you see, are still in the cellophane. Just trying to see what the difference is with laying them down in the cellophane. And here's a Lost City. This is 2016 Opus X. If you were to ask me exactly which Opus X it was, I really wouldn't know unless I looked it up. So sorry. You will see this though. Here's another of the Lost Cities. This is an Eye of the Shark. Okay. This is an Opus X as well. Not a Lost City. I think this is Opus Fuente. This is another Fuente. Different vitola sizes here. This is I believe this is Aniversario, and it's a 2017. Lighting always seems to be an issue for me, but I'll get around to it. Here we have another. I believe this is a Don Carlos, but I'm not sure. It looks like a Don Carlos, and this is the man. Easy to read that. And there's another Fuente here. Some of these Fuentes were rare, but I'll let you know right now, I didn't chase any of these down. I saw them available. I saw them at MSRP, and I picked them up. And I bought them, of course, because I didn't have to pay the additional amounts. And then when we look at the Cuban cigars, which I'm obviously, most of these have between 1 and 2 years of age on them, and I'm letting them age now for up to 3 to 4 years just to get the full satisfaction of that Cuban flavor that does age very well. This is a Bolivar. Okay. And here we have Paltaga Serie D. Yeah. I'm sorry if my camera is not up to par. I will work on that on the future. Let's see. No. And this is one of the cigars that I did in an unboxing, and it had this, right? Had that. And I reached out to the vendor, and they said that that would cause no harm to the cigar. It's a small thing. And I said, no, that's not how I should receive my cigars. They were well packaged. So they tried to tell me that it must have happened during transit. I said, impossible. They were very well packaged. This happened before they were packed. And they eventually gave in and sent me a free cigar. But I'll tell you this, it took nearly 6 months to get the free cigar. And then they were trying to tell me we would include it, make a note of it and include it in your next order, whenever that might be. and and when you place orders with this particular vendor, your orders have to be, a certain amount. So now you're being forced to spend additional amount of money just so that you can cash in on the rain check for the damaged cigar that you received. Now I wrote a carefully worded email to the company, and eventually they just shipped me the cigar on its own without me having to place the order. But I thought it was highly unfair of what they were expecting, and I've since reconsidered using them. And this is I'll tell you who they are. Casanoki Habanos, authorized Cuban dealer, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too much into that. Here we have Olla de Monterrey, beautiful band. Some more Partagas. This is a Ramon Ayones. This here is a punch, slightly box pressed. Punch, punch, punch. This is a Monte Cristo number 2. And I've had these many times. They are wonderful, but sometimes they can be a little tightly rolled, tightly packed. Give you that milkshake effect sometimes. They won Cigar of the Year in 2013. They're legendary. There's one over there, and I keep them separately because that one's already got 2 years of aging on it. So I want to know. I could just put a little sticker on it, but what the hell? These are Ashton ESGs. These are readily available. In the Northeast, we're talking about 20 something odd dollars. They're magnificent cigars. This is the Torpedo. Wonderful looking band, as you can see. I mean, this is one of their main things, right? Just how beautiful their bands can be. So actually, this is the Purple Rain Opus X, and I wasn't as fortunate in what I paid for it. This is a Cuban stock, no Cuban whatsoever in it. No need to get excited. It is a Cuban stock brand from Philadelphia, and this is aged 10 years. And this is their white label brand. This is the best of their stuff. Got a Cohiba Siglo. And then here you have a Davidoff Year of the Tiger. You can see the tiger like marks on it. Very creative. See how good it is. We've got some Felipe Gregorios here, and if you've never heard of them, these are the original Costa Rican puros, and he's been doing this, I believe, since the 90s, late 80s, and he's really the man in Costa Rica. Don't listen to anybody else. Felipe Gregorio, he's the man in Costa Rica, and we're talking about some tobacco in here might be aged about 20 years. We're going to find out what that's about. These here are some vintage cigars. Um, I'm not going to tell you too much about these, other than that most of them are well over 50 years old and need to be smoked very soon. And then here we have our Padrones. Gently, gently. And our Padrones, as we know, do not age well, so need to be smoked. And if you would have seen the Padrone selection a week or two ago, it would have been probably twice this amount. But I've been smoking them since because I realized I had too many of. There's such a thing as not having enough Padrones, but if you have more than you need to smoke or share with, then you need to do something about that. And that means smoking them exclusively and just ignoring all the other cigars so that they don't overage. Because I had some that were 2 or 3 years old and they still tasted good. They did. And they were still they provided satisfaction, but they didn't provide some of those key flavor notes that we're used to, the some of the intensity in the pepper and so forth. But I talked about that in my video of aging Padrones, and here we have in 1926, Belicoso 80th year anniversary. Uh, this is a 50th year. Let's see if 50th year anniversary. Yeah, that and not to be confused with the 50th. There's 50th year, right? And then there's 50th anniversary. So there's a difference there. There's obviously a difference in the vitola size. This is a number 9, pretty good cigar as well. This is the Family Reserve Natural. This is really my favorite. If I had a favorite Padron, it'd be the Family Reserve. It has, and it's an expensive cigar. You know, it's a $30-something cigar, but it is just so exquisite. This is the 90th year tubo. It came in a tubo. Of course, it's not now. I found this to be my least favorite, but also because I felt like in such a long time, I felt like this was the one cigar that for me just did not really uh, um, it didn't fit the bill of what I considered to be the Padron excellency, but but pepperheads out there would say differently because it was incredibly peppery, and I found it to be slightly unbalanced, which is out of character for Padron cigars. But I've had a few of them and I've aged them, and in this case, there's always an exception to the rule. This one has aged well for my palate. Mind you, I'm saying it aged well for my palate because I was able to get a decrease in the pepper, and that's what I wanted because I found it was so over unbalanced in the pepper, and since then it's been okay. But I don't feel that I should need to do that with a Padron, right? I don't think you do either. I think the idea is that they should be ready to go, and you shouldn't have to age them. There's already aged tobacco in there, but nonetheless, no one's perfect, and that's what happens. Well, um, here's the finished product. Look, I'm sorry this took so long. Such a slow talker, but whenever I reassemble, I always find myself having to readjust and wondering, how the hell did I fit all of these in here? This is a Daniel Marshall 65 count humidor, but it can't hold 65 cigars unless they're very small. So the larger cigars you have in there take up a lot of real estate, and you end up with a cigar humidor that can hold tops 50 with the large cigars included. With the large cigars not included, maybe 55, maybe. And before I go, I just wanted to tell you about this new company that I found in Puerto Rico, and they're called Hydro Organica, and they are a grassroots campaign here from Puerto Rico, and they are rolling. Their ideas are really to reestablish Puerto Rico as what it once was in regards to tobacco for cigars, for premium cigars. So I bought these cigars, and I will do reviews on them and talk about them at a later date. But some of them, well, at least one of them was pretty expensive. You can guess which one. And this one here is using a Nicaraguan wrapper with Mexican San Andres and Candela. And the filler on this is from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Not Puerto Rican, but Puerto Rican made. Then they have their little farm rolls, which are perritos, and they are called perritos, little dogs. They're just what they experiment with, and this is Nicaraguan. And then they have the El Club del Turo, which is a Robusto, and this is all Puerto Rican except for one thing. The wrapper is HVA Dominican. So I've been talking with them a lot, and they've got a lot to offer, and hopefully we'll see more from them in the future. Thank you for watching. Till next time on Backyard Cigars.